Will the Bitcoin ETF approval still happen by January 10th? That is what we're going to talk about in this video, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you had a fantastic Christmas and holiday season here, and still doing so as we head into the new year. And speaking of the new year, it's going to be interesting for crypto. We've got a ton of big events happening, and we're going to start right here with the Bitcoin ETF. But we've also got the potential for people to de-risk a little bit here to close out the year. You know, it's been a tremendous growth year for so many people in their portfolios in crypto, especially if they were buying early this year. Will they start to take some profits here and then buy back in early January? We're going to talk about that as well in the video. And then, of course, as we move into the first quarter of 2024, we've got a lot to keep our eyes locked in on because, of course, we've got just the macro environment. What are we going to see with interest rates? And then we've got the Bitcoin halving. So these next 3 to 4 months are going to be exciting times, jam-packed with information. If you guys aren't yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys do so down below. So the U.S. SEC might not be comfortable with BlackRock's prime execution agent change in its new spot Bitcoin ETF update. This is the news out just before Christmas. Analysts still, though, expect approvals to happen in early January. Of course, what this does will bring so many more eyeballs to the market and so many more people invested into Bitcoin as applicants for spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds rush to incorporate new cash-only requirements into their proposals in the last month of 2023. Some analysts, though, still expect ETF approvals in the United States by early 2024, as early as January 10th. Some of those analysts at Bloomberg include James Seifert and Eric Balkunis. They anticipate the SEC will approve a spot Bitcoin ETF in January 2024, despite multiple last-minute amendments that applicants are scrambling to add to their proposals. Now, some other people, though, think we've got a little bit of time before these things will get approved. Here's somebody on Twitter, an analyst chiming in. Bitcoin ETF will not be approved on January 10th, speculating on the upcoming Bitcoin ETF approval. With one only firm, Grayscale, having a January 10th deadline, it seems unlikely for it to get approved. March is the key month. Many people are eyeing this month as well, when other fund managing companies with later approval dates may see success. Keep an eye on BlackRock, the world's largest fund manager, as they have the first deadline in March for BlackRock's ETF. So the Bitcoin halving then right around the corner, keep in mind, in April of 2024. We're 107 days away right now to the Bitcoin halving. And this event could, of course, could be a future fuel to the fire as well. And as I mentioned earlier on in the video, and I sent this tweet out earlier today, it makes sense that we're getting this pullback right now in the overall market. You're seeing Bitcoin actually dial down to 42,000 right now, down 3.5%+ here. Same thing with Ethereum. It makes sense, though, in my opinion. Why? Because a lot of people made money this year. A lot of people in crypto made money, especially if they were buyers to start the year. Keep in mind, Bitcoin went from 16,000 to 44,000. And a lot of people came at me pretty hard when I sold my Bitcoin at 44K. I didn't sell all of it, by the way. I sold just 50% of it at 44,000. Well, since I sold that, we have not been past 44,000. And I'm not saying it can't go past 44,000 here and it won't go past. All I'm saying is I thought that the downside potential outweighed the upside potential once we got up to 44K and we couldn't break through it a couple times. And we're seeing right now Bitcoin fall below 42K as we're filming this right now. And, you know, there should be some profit taking. I put on this tweet here, on this post. People will then look to reallocate and start loading back up in early 2024. I do think people could de-risk a little bit, at least take some profits off the table to close out the year, and then start to buy back in January. This is a practice a lot of people like to do, and there will be some tax loss harvesting happening. This is a little bit different situation this year because people are actually in the green for the most part. People are in the profits, in the black. And I said, this is not from TA. This is not technical analysis telling me this, okay? This is more fundamentals and just trying to understand the psychology of investors this year, right? Because 2024, there's still some uncertainty out there. For every analyst that says we're going to get into this crazy bull run starting in the first quarter, you'll have another analyst or another person out there that says we're getting ready for the greatest recession we've ever seen in our lives, right? The moral of the story is nobody knows. And as an investor, I never want to get too high or too low. So I want to come in somewhere in the middle of all of that, right? when somebody's so extreme one end and then so extreme the other end, I'd like to fall somewhere right in the middle, right? And then I feel like, okay, I can make a move whenever I need to. And that's why I deleveraged a little bit out of Bitcoin at 44,000, took my 50% profits off the table. I was DCAing at 16K, right? Let me book some profits here in 2023. And I've been doing that with some altcoins as well here to close out the year. And it's a new year, right? 2024 is a new year. We'll see what it brings. And we'll still have some time to make some moves. So I think that's where a lot of people's heads are at right now. And now, obviously, what's looming is this Bitcoin ETF, right? This Bitcoin ETF is looming. And if this happens in early January, then all of a sudden we could get back into a rally mode. There are still some people who say we could sell off a little bit here with an ETF approval, just kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news event before things really ramp up. Again, nobody knows for sure, right? But as Bitcoin's tumbling today, now down 4%, I wanted to kind of bring you guys up to speed on why I think the market is coming down right now, and also shed some light on the January 10th deadline. I don't know for sure, but I'm not acting as if it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. I'm kind of falling somewhere in between and taking a little profits where I can, sitting back on the sidelines with some cash ready to go to kind of see what happens. If we get some major dips, I'll become a buyer, right? So I'll be keeping you guys up to speed on what I'm thinking and what's happening in the overall markets. Make sure you guys stay locked in by subscribing down below. Also, help me out with the like button tap down there as well if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.